Alexandra, Zelensky said he praised Trump for the success in Gaza. In response, the U.S. President told him he had hoped to stop Putin before a peace deal was reached in the Middle East. And Zelensky also highlighted the importance of the first phase of the Gaza peace plan, which included a ceasefire. He said it gives hope that the Russian regime could also be pressured into a ceasefire in Ukraine. What lessons, if any, can be drawn from the Gaza ceasefire and applied to the war in Ukraine?
We see now that the American administration can actually push and can actually be very persuasive when they have this idea, when they have a plan, when they have a vision. But I think what conclusions we can draw from what is happening right now with hostages coming back and with this, at least for now, a ceasefire in the Middle East, we understand that maybe not Steve Witkoff, but Jared Kushner played a bigger role. So maybe there is needed another figure, let's say, apart from Steve Witkoff, who had so many things on his plate and he wore so many hats, let's put it this way, that he could not concentrate solely, for example, on pressuring Russia. Maybe someone else is needed to talk to Putin. Maybe something else is needed to talk to Putin. And one of those things might be the long-range missiles, of course. And also, if we look at the recent tensions between the United States and China, we might say, I suppose, that China is, of course, one of the countries that might be pressured right now during those negotiations between China and the United States. But again, it's very difficult to predict. As of now, what we see, what conclusions we can draw, is that President Trump and his administration can really push hard if they want to and when they want to and when they feel that they must and when they feel that there is a real possibility. As of now, we haven't seen that much pressure from the Trump administration. We haven't seen that much pressure from President Trump on Vladimir Putin and on the Kremlin, but we might see it when President Trump's hands are not tied anymore in the Middle East, if the peace holds, if there is actually the second step in that long-term peace plan, if that second step is taken, then for President Trump, he will have way more time and way more opportunities to actually take care of what is happening in Europe, because these were his biggest goals regarding peacemaking and peace deals during his election campaign, the war in the Middle East and the war in Europe. He pledged to end them in 24 hours. And right now we're seeing, okay, in the first year, at least in first 10 months, we see the war in the Middle East, at least for now, coming to an end. And it's a great start. So maybe right now his hands would be untied to really talk about Europe and really pressure Russia more.
Alexandra, yes, President Donald Trump has said he is ready to send long-range Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. However, he will likely speak with Kremlin dictator Vladimir Putin about it first, reports clash. The U.S. leader noted that supplying Tomahawk missiles would mark a new stage of escalation, so it is worth discussing the matter with Russia first. Trump believes Moscow does not want those missiles flying toward its territory. What message does it send to allies and adversaries alike when a U.S. president signals readiness to consult with the Kremlin before providing military aid to Ukraine?
I believe that this is not just a willingness to talk to Kremlin or to discuss it with the Kremlin or discuss it with Putin, but I believe that for President Trump, the reaction from the Kremlin was very subtle, because first Putin said that, oh, the relations between Russia and the US will deteriorate if there are Tomahawk missiles that are sent to Ukraine. Then he said that, oh, Russia will strengthen its capabilities to shoot down Tomahawk missiles if Tomahawk missiles are given to Ukraine. Nothing about nuclear weapons, no threats, nothing what we've heard, what we've been hearing throughout the full-scale invasion invasion of Ukraine throughout 22, 23, and 24, and year 25 also in Russian propaganda, for example. So it feels like they don't even notice that. And for President Trump, I think he wants Russia to notice it. So I believe it is not about discussing, or it's not about negotiating with the Kremlin, but it's about, look what is happening. Now tell me, do you see what is happening? Do you see, do you hear me now? Do you see me now? So this is more of not a discussion to my mind. This doesn't look, or it doesn't seem like a discussion. To me, it seems more like this willingness of President Trump to really make Vladimir Putin answer to what is happening. Not just merely about, oh, the relations will deteriorate. There are basically no relations right now between Moscow and Washington, or, we will strengthen our air defense. Well, yes, this might happen, but necessarily not because of Tomahawk missiles, but because of anything else. Yes, they might strengthen their air defense. But there is no actual reaction. What is going to happen? What is happening? So I think President Trump wants to hear from Putin what Putin thinks right now and what Putin feels right now, and how does he see what is happening? Does he see what is happening? Does he understand fully what is happening? And so I believe that President Trump, it's not about discussion. It's about really getting this reaction from Putin about what President Trump is about to do. And again, this is also kind of a pressure from President Trump. This might be seen, of course, are presented by Russian propaganda as a necessary discussion or a negotiation. No, it's not a discussion. It's not a negotiation. President Trump is just saying what he's about to do, and he wants them to know what he's about to do. So it's, I don't see it as a discussion. It's rather just a notice. Look, take notice of what is happening. Take notice of what I'm about to do. Maybe you want to stop right now. If not, I am doing this and that and that. And but also we should take into account the China situation, because President Trump is now will really be focused on China. So everything that's happening in Europe, and we need to realize that, we need to understand that, to really see what is happening. Everything that's happening in Europe right now is not that much of an interest for the American administration. China is way more interesting for the American administration right now, but this not a discussion, this call, if it's going to happen, or this, I don't know, video meeting, if it's going to happen between President Trump and Putin. It's not about negotiating, or it's not about preliminary discussing something. It's just about a notice and getting a reaction from Moscow.